Buenas and Hafa, good morning, everyone. It's good to see everyone together again. Though last year in 2020, we had virtually no Senior Citizen Month activities. I'm so happy that we're able to gather, even though it's over Zoom. We're doing this to keep each other safe still during this pandemic and celebrate our beloved seniors. Today's celebration really centers around our love for our Manamko, who continue to inspire us in the face of challenges and do right by our people. I want to thank our partners at the Public Health Division of Senior Citizens and our healthcare partners who have worked tirelessly throughout the pandemic to ensure that the critical services and programs to our Manamko continue without interruption. We're here today to present resolutions in celebration of our centenarians. A centenarian is a person who lives to or beyond the age of 100 years. This year, the United Nations estimates that there were 573,000 living centenarians worldwide. As life expectancy is increasing across the world and the world population has also increased rapidly, the number of centenarians is expected to rise more in the future. I personally hope that more Guamanians will live to be centenarians like our beloved Manamko here with us today and to continue to enjoy God's gift of life. This is such a great blessing and honor for the 36th Guam legislature to congratulate and recognize the milestone achievement of reaching 100. I'd like to thank my colleagues for joining me this morning. Senator Tony Atta, thank you very much for being here. And I'd also like to recognize our partners at the Department of Public Health and Social Services. Half a day, everyone. When Charlene comes up to speak, I'll let Charlene St. Nicholas introduce everyone from the team. And I most especially would like to recognize our centenarians and their families who have joined us this morning. Half a day. I'm sure many of us here today and those watching at home are thinking about how we ourselves can reach this grand age of 100. As I read through the biographies of our centenarians in preparation for our presentation today, three things became quite clear about the secret of living to 100. One, we must be rooted in faith, living our lives with God guiding us. Two, we must be disciplined in how we live life, that we should live simple lives. And three, family is important. Our Manamko continued to inspire us to persevere and to do all things in faith and love. We appreciate their lives and ask that God continue to strengthen them as they live out their golden years. And without further ado, I'd like to introduce our team from the Division of Senior Citizens at the Department of Public Health, Ms. Charlene St. Nicholas.
Hi, good morning, everyone, and good morning, Senator Shelton, Committee on Senior Citizens. I want to thank you, the 36th Guam Legislature, and Senator Tony Atta for being part of today's virtual Zoom to continue our Senior Citizens Month events with the celebration of our centenarians. Also with us, we have our Director of Public Health and Social Services, Art St. Augustine. We have our deputies with us also, Lori Duenas and Terry Uggan, also with us. And internally within our division, we have the Adult Protective Services Social Service Supervisor, Evelyn Atalan. We also have Jeanette Gomez, who's also assisting under the Bureau of Adult Protective Services. In the program area, we have under the Program Administration and Development, which manages our home and community-based services for our seniors, even during this time of the COVID. Present is Monica Antalan and Daryl Dearest. In our Bureau of Community Support and our chair for this year's Senior Citizens Month, Chad Palomo with the Bureau of Community Support. I do want to, and also with us, we have Adult Daycare Support, Manny Blas. We have Kathleen Savares also joining us. And then in our network, our aging network, thank you to Adult Daycare for being a part of the Zoom. We also want to use this time to thank our case management services, although not here, but to help us also coordinate. So sometimes it's hard. How do you get the word out to see who within your community are centenarians? So we do that by partnering with our case management program, who do see seniors that may need assistance. So they helped us with identifying, and likewise with our adult daycare. So thank you, everyone. Thank you to the families who are here. We do have so many. We have eight ladies. I know that we have some that may have passed away, and I do not want to take away from the resolution. So we want to just continue and move forward. So thank you again to the 36th Guam Legislature. Thank you for Senator Shelton for really keeping senior citizens activities and services always at the top of your thoughts, so we can continue to provide services for Manamco.
Thank you very much, Ms. Shar. And I apologize to the director and the deputy that I didn't notice you pop into the screen, but thank you very much for being here and celebrating with us today. Director San Augustine and deputies, if you'd like to give us a few words.
Thank you, Senator. Yes, I actually would. Senator, thank you again for hosting this year's Centenarian celebration virtually, and also to Senator Tony Atta and the members of the 36th Guam Legislature, although may not all be with us today, but I do know that they hold the celebration of Senior Citizens Month very much near and dear in their heart. But again, as Acting Administrator Sir Nicholas has said, Senator Shelton, thank you for keeping the seniors on your agenda. So we appreciate that. And also to the staff who have worked on this celebration as senior citizens and our partners, thank you so much. And on that note, though, I do want to extend on behalf of the Department of Public Health and Social Services our happy centenarian birthday to all the centenarians that are going to be honored today. Like Charlene has said, I really don't want to take away from the resolution presentation where there's a lot of good information that will be shared about each celebrant, but we also want to take a moment, as this year we could have had 9 celebrants who had agreed to be honored, and we did have 2 who have since passed away. So we could just take a moment of silence in honor of 10 Paz and 10 Romana. And thank you for that moment of silence in honor of our 2 centenarians who passed away just last month, from what I understand. But we have 7 who may be honored today, are being recognized today. And I just want to highlight to the family of Jose Peralta, if you're with us, your father, your grandfather, your great-grandfather, he is in great company with other women. It's an exclusive club. You have to be turning 100 or older this year. It is predominantly dominated with women year after year. Every so often we'll have a man join that club. So Mr. Peralta, Mr. Jose, you're in good company with all the other women here. And so to all the women who are going to be honored today, 10 Teodora, Amalia, 10 Rosario, 10 Felecisema, 10 Josefina, and 10 Epiphania. Happy birthday. And Senator, as you are going to note, some of them are already 100, one's going to be 100, and we have one that is 102. So you all been given the gift of longevity, and as the Senator has said, yes, and many times that I've had the opportunity to read the bios of our centenarians, it really is based on their strong sense of faith, family values, and hard work, and taking care of their family. And so really, as we think of Senior Citizens Month theme this year, Communities of Strength, I want to thank all of you who continue to take care of your parents, your grandparents. It is to your strength that they continue to be a part of our community. So Sizos Masi, thank you, Senator, for the time to deliver some very brief remarks. Sizos Masi. And congratulations to this division, and happy birthday to our centenarians. Viva Centenarians.
Viva, thank you very much, Director. If Deputy Duenas and Deputy, again, if you'd like to give us a few words.
Thank you very much, Senator Shelton. It is truly an honor to participate in this event, and like to also thank the 36th Guam Legislature for their support in this process. And I'm amazed, I'm honored. We look back at the 1920s and we know that it was a time of innovation, it was a time of progress and movement here on Guam, and to be born into that generation and to have touched as many lives as our 100th celebrants have through the years, it's amazing. And to have lived through so much and to bring that history full circle. And it's an honor again to be here, and so much to celebrate, so many lives that they have touched through the years, and so much part of Guam's progress. So thank you very much. And again, we'll move on with the proclamation unless Deputy Dueñas has any words she'd like to add.
Please, if you do, Deputy.
Senator Shelton, thank you very much for having us here. Your support has always been so great throughout the years. And I wish to congratulate all of those that are here today celebrating their 100th year. It's truly an honor to be right here next to you, and hope that one day I can reach that age and look just as good as all of you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Director and deputies, for being here. You know that this is a very special occasion when we get all three of you on the line at one time. We know how busy things are, so we are very honored that you're here with us today. And so we'll begin with the reading of the resolutions. First, resolution relative to posthumously recognizing and commemorating the late Romana Blas Villagomez for her many contributions to our island, and expressing condolences to her family on her passing on behalf of the people of Guam. Whereas Romana Blas Villagomez was born on February 29, 1920, in the heart of Hagåtña, Guam, and is the daughter of Rosa Pereira Crisostomo and Jesus Santos Blas. Romana, fondly known as Auntie Ana or Nana, is formerly from the village of Hagåtña and presently resides with her daughter Luis V. Perez in Barrigada, where she had resided for the past 10 years. Romana was married to the love of her life, Pedro Perez Villagomez, for 33 years until his unfortunate passing on September 18, 1976. She remained committed to her vows and never remarried. Romana was the matriarch of her family and affectionately known as Auntie Romana to her nieces and nephews. She always lived a very simple life and had 3 children, Rosa, Luis, and Carl, and she was also blessed with 6 granddaughters, 3 grandsons, and abundantly blessed with 2 great-grandchildren. Romana was a homemaker who for the most part enjoyed raising her children. She also affectionately was known as Nana to them. She loved to sew, and she was very skilled and hardworking with her sewing. She enjoyed the seam work and intricacy of each stitch, and as a mother, she had sewn many outfits for each of her children. She had also made prom dresses for each of her daughters. Evidently, being a mother was a never-ending task, and she was also certainly a very great cook. Her dinner bread rolls were one of her specialties at gatherings with family and friends, and it was an essential dish for her to bring. Many individuals indulged in her bread. Romana also liked to reminisce and tell stories of World War II. She had always been a devout Catholic who attended Mass every Sunday, and although she may not have been able to attend regularly, she still donated to the Santa Barbara Church in Dedido and Our Lady of Lourdes Church in Jigo. Romana had always remained committed to her faith and her spouse, and she was a simple woman who helped those in need. Although she had stopped doing many activities that she loved around the age of 90 years old, she continued to have her strength and independence. Now, therefore, be it resolved that Iminay 36 na Legislatura Guahan does hereby, on behalf of the Legislatura Guahan and the people of Guam, posthumously recognize and commemorate the late Romana Blas Villagomez for her many contributions to our island, and express condolences to her family on her passing on behalf of the people of Guam. And now, if there's anyone from Tan Ramona's family who's here, I'd like to invite you to say a few words to tell us a little bit about your mother, grandmother, great-grandmother today. Okay, if there's anyone from the family who'd like to speak, we can always come back to you. Our next resolution is relative to posthumously recognizing and commemorating the late Paz Mendiola Sablan for her many contributions to our island and expressing condolences to her family on her passing on behalf of the people of Guam. Whereas Paz Mendiola Sablan was born on September 30th, 1917, and is the daughter of Juan Cruz and Carmen Cruzal Mendiola. Paz, fondly known as Nanpa, was formerly from the village of Pidi and lived with her niece Irene Toves in Chigo, where she resided for the past 7 years. Nanpa was married to the love of her life, Pedro Chargaloff Sablan, for 33 years until his passing on February 20th, 1973. She remained committed to her vows and never remarried. Nanpa was a homemaker who enjoyed watching television shows to include her favorite soap operas, The Young and the Restless, and her favorite game, Let's Make a Deal. Nanpa was a very independent woman who did not like to impose on anyone. She even told her niece Irene to cancel the meal delivery service from the senior citizen vendor and stated to give the food to those in need. At one point, she had attended the adult daycare facility in Barragata Heights. However, she stopped going as she preferred to stay home. As her niece Irene would say, Nanpa was a homebody who did not like crowds, and she felt uncomfortable at parties and would usually just show up, eat, and request to go home. In her younger years, Nanpa enjoyed shopping, taking walks, and planting vegetables and flowers. She would walk to the Dedido flea market, and although many times she was offered a ride, she would refuse and preferred to walk. Nanpa preferred shopping at mom and pop stores as she was not too fond of large shopping centers and was not a materialistic person. Her favorite foods included sardines, Vienna sausage, raisin bread, soup, bananas, Oreo cookies, milk, and juice. She liked to reminisce and tell stories of World War II. She was a devout Catholic. Nanpa had always remained committed to her faith and to her spouse, and she was a simple woman who always helped those in need. Now, therefore, be it resolved that Imine 36 de Legislatura en Guahan does hereby, on behalf of the people of Guam and the Legislatura en Guahan, posthumously recognize and commemorate the late Paz Mendiola Sablan for her many contributions to our island and express condolences to her family on her passing on behalf of the people of Guam. Now, if there's anyone from Tanpa's, Nanpa's family here, we'd love to hear from you. All right. Okay, we'll go on to the next resolution. This is relative to recognize Felecisema Alcira Montalban as a centenarian of the 2021 Senior Citizens Month and commemorating her on the celebration of her 102 years of longevity. Whereas Felicissima Alcira Montalban was born on February 8, 1920, and is the daughter of Petra Alger and Placido Alcicia. Felicissima was born in the Philippines and currently lives with her daughter, Ida M. Miranda, in Tumon, where she has resided for the past 10 years. Felicissima is the matriarch of her family and has 14 children: Ida Miranda, Renato Montalban, Felicitas Montalban, Luanisa Montalban, Areneo Montalban, Abdan Montalban, Juliana Montalban, Benjamin Montalban, Dada Montalban, Joseph Montalban, Enrique Montalban, Virginia Montalban, and Domingo. And from her 14 children, she had a set of twins and was also blessed with 15 grandchildren and 10 great-grandchildren. Felicissima was married to the love of her life, Prosecco Montalban, and has remained committed to her vows and never remarried. Felicissima was a housewife who lived a simple life and enjoyed cooking pancit, kari-kari, and many other Filipino food and delicacies, and often enjoyed herself in having family gatherings at her home. Now therefore be it resolved that Iminay 36 na Legislature Guahan does hereby on behalf of the Legislature Guahan and the people of Guam recognize Felecisema Alcira Montalban on celebrating 102 years of longevity and commemorate her as a centenarian of the 2021 Senior Citizens Month celebration. Happy birthday. And if Felicissima or anyone from the Montalban family is here today, we'd welcome you to give us a few words. Okay. We'll go now to the next resolution, and I'll ask Senator Tony Ada to also assist me in reading this resolution. This is relative to recognizing Jose Aguinaldo Peralta as a centenarian of the 2021 Senior Citizens Month and commemorating him on the celebration of his 101 years of longevity. Senator Ada? Please unmute Senator Ada.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for the resolution to pop up on my screen here. Senator, you may want to go ahead and continue. I'm having issues here with it.
No problem. Thank you very much. Whereas Jose Aguinaldo Peralta, fondly known as Jose, was born on July 18, 1920, and is the son of Modesta Aguinaldo Peralta and Sebastian Peralta. He is formerly from Pangasinan Province of the Philippines and currently lives with his wife, Juanita Sevilla Peralta in Dedido, where he has resided for the past 20 years. Jose was married to the love of his life, Juanita Sevilla Peralta, for 68 years, and he has remained committed to his vows. Jose continues to live his life day by day with his 8 children, Hildalita, Jose Jr., Elena, Ricardo, Nita, Cepeda, Jeanette, Johnny, and Harriet, and also is blessed with 18 grandchildren and 10 great-grandchildren. Jose established Star Press General Printers in Tamuning, and as a small business owner, he took pride in the business and of it being a family-facilitated operation, as Star Press General Printers was also operated with his older brother, Segundo. He and his wife made it their mission to help their relatives in the Philippines by sending money to make sure they had pasalubong whenever he and his wife made trips back to the barrio. Jose is a great man who is always humble and a quiet person. He participated in many organizations and was an active member of the Rotary Club of Guam, Tumon, and the Filipino Community of Guam, and the Ilocano Association of Guam. He enjoyed camaraderie of his fellow Filipinos who had made Guam their home. Jose enjoyed planting vegetables and gardening in his backyard. He would walk back and forth to exercise while gardening as he grew onions, peppers, eggplants, and many other vegetables. Now therefore be it resolved that Iminay 36 na Legislature Guahan does hereby on behalf of the people of Guam recognize Jose Aguinaldo Peralta on celebrating 101 years of longevity and commemorate him as a centenarian of the 2021 Senior Citizens Month celebration. And I understand that Mr. Peralta is here with us today. So if you'd like to say a few words, We'd be very happy to welcome him. Please unmute yourself. There you go.
Say something.
Say something nice and loud.
Say hello, confident. Thank you.
Well, happened I am glad I'm still alive. Despite the hardship that I went through. Well, I hope I could meet another 100.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Peralta. It's nice to see you. You're looking very well and healthy, and we're so honored that you're here celebrating Senior Citizens Month with us. Okay, we will now move on to the next resolution. Okay, we are recognizing Josefina Liberty Villanueva Sancionanco Reagan as a centenarian of the 2021 Senior Citizens Month and commemorating her on her celebration of her 100 years of longevity. Whereas Josefina Liberty Villanueva Sancionanco Reagan was born on October 28, 1921 in Angeles, Pampanga, Philippines, and she is the daughter of Gregorio Utuc Villanueva Sancionanco and Alejandro Chochico Sancionanco, and presently resides with her daughter, Regina M. Reagan, in Petey, where she has resided for the last 10 years. Josefina was married to the love of her life, Richard C. Reagan, on August 1952. And unfortunately, they filed for divorce 9 years later, and she was eventually remarried to Mr. James W. Nelson in July 1968. Josefina is the matriarch of her family and is affectionately known as Auntie Josefina or Fina to her nieces and nephews, and has always lived a very simple life. She has 8 children: Susan Carol, Maria Pamela, Regina Maria, Carol Ann, Richard Stewart, Jean Wendy, Samantha Lee, Malcolm Valayantham Luis, and she is blessed with 9 grandchildren and abundantly blessed with 2 great-grandchildren. Josefina graduated from the University of Santo Tomas in the Philippines and did her internship in New York, where she met her husband, Richard Reagan. Josefina's mother was a lawyer and her father was a doctor, and she is the eldest child of 4 children of 2 boys and 2 girls. Upon graduation from high school, Josefina followed in her father's footsteps and pursued a degree in medicine with a specialty in obstetrics and gynecology. Josefina's first husband, Richard, was a pilot and officer in the Coast Guard, and after they divorced, Josefina moved to Manila with her children. There she met her second husband, James, a lawyer, and they had a daughter, Jean Wendy. They also divorced, and Josefina later migrated to Australia and became a citizen. Josefina is an avid reader who was drawn to mystery crime novels and keeps a library to remember the enjoyment of reading those books. Along with her appetite for reading, she has an addiction to crossword puzzles in magazines and newspapers, which she can also complete in one sitting. She loves being entertained, and she took her children to many plays, musicals, and movies. She's even taken her children to see the Beatles. She knew the words to the songs in South Pacific, The King and I, and Camelot, among many others, and she would sing them around the house. She knew all the actors and actresses of the time and would say their names as they would appear on screen. Josefina's business life started with the quite popular Henry's Coffee Shop at Escolta in Manila, which she owned and operated in the 60s and 70s. It was a landmark in the old downtown business district. She worked hard to put her children through private school and enjoyed a privileged life. Josefina was a great community advocate who enjoyed entertaining and engaging with the Navy Officers' Wives Club on Guam in the 1950s. And she also loved to support local libraries, the casinos, and entertainment industry. Now, therefore, be it resolved that Imintay 36 na legislature in Guam does hereby, on behalf of the legislature in Guam and the people of Guam, recognize Josefina Liberty Villanueva Sancianco Reagan as a centenarian of the 2021 Senior Citizens Month and commemorate her on the celebration of her 100 years of longevity. Now, if Mrs. Reagan, Tan Josefina, or anyone from her family is here. I know we have so many people on the Zoom call, so I don't want to miss anyone. Please let me know.
Hi, Senator. Good morning. This is Evelyn Cruz from the Adult Daycare.
Good morning.
Good morning. We are honored. We thank you for honoring our centenarian, Mrs. Reagan. Her daughter will be joining you later on.
Okay. Okay, great.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Our next centenarian. This resolution is relative to recognizing Amalia Yocoy Farfan as a centenarian of the 2021 Senior Citizens Month and commemorating her on the celebration of her 102 years of longevity. Whereas Amalia Yocoy Farfan was born on June 27, 1918 in Hagåtña, Guam. She is the daughter of Maria Quintanilla Yocoy and Jose Tesabura Yocoy, and she presently resides with her son, Pedro F. Farfan, in Manila, where she has resided for the past 10 years. Amalia was married to the love of her life, Jose Camacho Farfan, in 1939. She remained committed to her vows and did not remarry after his passing in 2004. She is the matriarch of her family and has 13 children: Julia Tatau, Rosita Yoon, Antonita Weissman, Vicente Farfan, Lourdes Kingsley, Anita McGettrick, Doral Barbara Solis, Margarita Fabella, Pedro Farfan, Estela Duenas, Patricia Artero, and Francis Cruz, and is also blessed with 35 grandchildren, 37 great-grandchildren, and 6 great-grandchildren. Now, therefore, be it resolved that Iminay 36 na legislature in Guam does hereby, on behalf of the people of Guam, recognize Amalia Yocoy Farfan on celebrating 102 years of longevity and commemorate her as a centenarian of the 2021 Senior Citizens Month celebration. Now, if there's anyone here, Tan Amalia or any of her family, please let us know. All right. Okay, now we will recognize with this resolution Teodora P. Andrada as a centenarian of the 2021 Senior Citizens Month, commemorating her on the celebration of her 101 years of longevity. Teodora P. Andrada was born in Hawaii on August 29, 1920, and is the daughter of proud parents George Lim Ho and Annie Kaihi. Teodora is married to Hilarion Andrada and was mainly a housewife and a mother. Teodora and Hilarion Andrada had 5 children: Nick, Violet, Carmen, Connie, and Edna, and were also blessed with 17 grandchildren and 30 great-grandchildren and great-great-grandchildren. Teodora P. Andrada was an active member of the Senior Citizen Center, where she enjoyed playing bingo and card games for a number of years. And when she was not socializing at the Senior Center, she would love to go out to eat at buffets and restaurants and occasionally watch television in her spare time. Her favorite drink is Pepsi and fruit drinks. Now, therefore, be it resolved that Iminay 36 na legislature in Guam does hereby, on behalf of the people of Guam, recognize Teodora P. Andrada on celebrating 101 years of longevity and commemorating her as a centenarian of the 2021 Senior Citizens Month celebration. if there's anyone from the Andrada family here, please let us know. Okay. This next resolution is relative to recognizing Rosario Flores Leon Guerrero as a centenarian of the 2021 Senior Citizens Month and commemorating her on the celebration of her 101 years of longevity. Whereas Rosario Flores Leon Guerrero, fondly known as Charo, was born on March 14, 1920 in Hagåtña, and she is the daughter of Ignacio Guerrero Flores, familia Cabeza, and Susana Lujan Garcia, and presently lives with her daughter Lola Leon Guerrero Paulino in Chalampago. Charo married the love of her life, Pedro Baza Leon Guerrero, on July 6, 1942, and they shared 53 years of marriage until Don Pedro's death in 1985. Charo remained committed to her vows and never remarried. Together, they raised 7 children: Rosie, Hilda, Lola, Sister Mary, Priscilla, Josephine, and Peter. They were also blessed with 18 grandchildren, 21 great-grandchildren, and 2 great-great-grandchildren. During World War II, Charo was only 21 years old, and Charo's childhood was in a very typical Chamorro family, as her father was a farmer and her mother was a successful homemaker. A close and dear friend, Father Jesus Baza Dueñas, introduced Charo to his cousin, whom she married in October 1941. Father Jesus Dueñas brought his Catholic cousin Pedro Baza Leon Guerrero to meet her Protestant family, and Charo had only been married for 2 months when the war broke out. Charo's daughter Rosie was born during the war in 1943, and she stayed with Charo while Charo's husband was forced to labor like many other Chamorros to clear the landing fields for the Japanese planes. Although she was secure at the ranch, Charo was not isolated from adversity, especially during the early months of the war. Very often, those passing through Chiguyan were given shelter, respite, and food, and it was at the ranch that war information and experiences were exchanged. Charo's life was relatively normal under the Japanese rule, and although it was restricted, travel was allowed for school and church, where they prayed for deliverance. She personally experienced the atrocities of war firsthand as she quietly watched Japanese soldiers beat Father Jesus Dueñas. Additionally, Charo recalls a mother being beaten for lighting a small fire to warm milk for her infant. Charo also recalls the march to Menengan, where people were not allowed to aid or help the elderly or the sick. You had to be strong and show no emotion, or you would be beaten or even beheaded. I will never forget that one woman lamenting that she didn't realize her baby had died in her arms during the march, shared Charo. She trekked for 2 days in the jungle and hills from Jigo to Maimai and then to Menengan. And it was extremely difficult because she was pregnant with her second child, Hilda, and she would have not survived if it were not for her sister-in-law who carried her daughter, Rosie. Charo started a home business in 1951, serving lunch to the children at Sinahanya Elementary School, and waking up before sunrise, she would prepare and cook pastries and sandwiches, and in working hard and saving money, she eventually garnered enough funds to build 2 houses in Chalampago for her family. She is a loving, caring, wonderful, and unselfish person to her children, grandchildren, and great-grandchildren, and her family members feel so blessed to have had her in their lives. There is no doubt that her health and longevity are due to her faith, love, and devotion to family and to God. She devoted many years to public service to uplift our community while caring for her own family. Now therefore be it resolved that Imina Chantaisais Nalahas Guahan does hereby, on behalf of the people of Guam, recognize Rosario Flores Leon Guerrero in celebrating her 101 years of longevity and commemorate her as a centenarian for the 2021 Senior Citizens Month celebration. Congratulations, Tancharo. If there's anyone from the Leon Guerrero family here, please let us know.
Today, Senator Shelton. This is Mary Rhodes. I'm one of the granddaughters of Tensaro. And so we want to thank you and together with Department of Public Health Social Service and the Senior Citizens Division for recognizing centenarians every year. We continue to be blessed with her as she has celebrated 101. And for anyone who knows her, she continues to lead our family. She's a very strong lady and comes from great genes and a long legacy of a lot of strong women. So we definitely have continued to be blessed by her. As you mentioned, she did run a store in Sanahanya. So a lot of people from Agana, Sanahanya, Agana Heights have been raised knowing that she has provided a lot of nutrition, and she also provided the food to CL Taitano. She was providing their lunch at that time. So that was post-war. And so we've been really blessed with her being a continued part of our life. And she leads with faith. And she's definitely the rock for our family. So on behalf of the entire family, we want to thank you. And just so that you know, she's continues to be here with all of us, all of her children. And she is at home. She was online listening to all of this. And we want to thank you again for that recognition. So we really want to celebrate with all the other centenarians. And I know that a lot of people have fond memories of her, especially in Sanahanya and Hagatnya. So thank you again. And she's a strong Catholic in Chalampago too, where she relocated in the 70s and when she retired. So that's been another long legacy for her, especially being one of the original Christian mothers. And also she's been, her daughter is a Carmelite nun. So she's really strong in the faith. So thank you very much.
Wow, thank you so much for sharing, Mary. Thank you. Nice to see you. So we will move on to the next resolution, and this is relative to recognizing Epifania Delay Tabilas as a recipient of the 2021 Centenarian and commemorating her on the celebration of her 101 years of longevity. Whereas Epifania Delay Tabilas was born on April 7, 1920 in Pangasinan, Philippines, and presently resided with her daughter, Edith T. Cruz, in Dedido. Epifania is the daughter of Fabian Dulay and Juan Tabilas. Epifania was married to the love of her life, Juan, in 1936 and remained committed to her vows and never remarried. Epifania is the matriarch of her family and has 10 children: Hilario, Edith, Maynard, Marina, Wilfredo, Carlito, Roger, Dindo, Josefina, and Gloria. Epifania has 24 grandchildren and has been abundantly blessed with 24 great-grandchildren. She loved having family gatherings and entertaining, enjoyed singing, dancing, hosting family and friends. She was a homemaker for many years and only worked at a hotel for 5 years in the food and beverage department. Epifania and her husband were a part of the NCS Family Association's founding members, along with many neighbors who moved to the area to raise their families. Epifania, even at her prime age of 100 years old, continues to partake in the joyous occasion of family gatherings. She loves to laugh and have a good time whenever she can, and still enjoys her quiet time as well. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Committee on Rules of Iminay Chantaysay Legislature in Guahan does hereby, on behalf of the Legislature in Guahan and the people of Guam, recognize Epifania Delay Tabilas on celebrating 101 years of longevity and commemorate her as a centenarian of the 2021 Senior Citizens Month celebration. There's anyone from the Tabilas family here? All right. Okay, well, I'd like to thank all of the family and friends who are logged on. I think quite a few are maybe a little bit shy and didn't want to speak today, but we're still so happy that you're here to celebrate with us. And I'd like to recognize also the chair of all of the Senior Citizen Month activities, Mr. Chad Palomo from the Division of Senior Citizens. Thank you for all of your coordination. I'm not sure if you want to say a few words. I'll give you the opportunity.
Thank you, Senator. I appreciate the recognition. And I appreciate everybody joining today. Real quick, it was, despite the pandemic, it was largely a success for the month. We still have some activities that are coming up, but largely a success, starting with the proclamation. Yourself was able to join along with the governor and a lot of other dignitaries. And that was coinciding with the Elder Justice Center ribbon cutting ceremony. We did have a successful Guam Conference on Aging, 3 sessions. So that was also really exciting. First time, so it was really, really well received. And of course, not last and definitely not least, celebrating our centenarians. So thank you all.
Thank you very much, Chad. And I'd like to give my colleague, Senator Ada, a chance to give us some closing remarks. And then if you'll all join me at the very end, we'll unmute ourselves and we will do the traditional happy birthday singing for our centenarians today. Senator Ada?
Thank you, Madam Chair. And thank you for continuing this celebration for our centenarians over these years. I miss the time of our face-to-face celebrations with them. It was always a joy and a great pleasure just to sit with them and talk with them about their lives throughout the years and how they grew up, and the changes they've seen over the years on our island, and in fact all over wherever they came from, right? And they decided to make Guam their home. And the most precious times is when you see that joy and that look on their face, to know that people and family are still around and still celebrate them. And that's what it's about. It's always about remembering our elderlies and always remembering those who have come before us to, bring us joy and pleasure into our lives. So to all of the centenarians, congratulations and happy birthday. To Department of Public Health, thank you for continuing to do this for our centenarians. And Madam Chair, to you again, thank you for continuing this tradition of recognition. And though our resolutions are just a simple token, but it's a simple token of our great appreciation for them, and that they will always be a treasure into our hearts and to our lives. Thank you. And thank you to everyone and the families for joining us today.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much, Senator Ada. We thank you, all of our family and friends, and all of our partners, especially the Division of Senior Citizens. Thank you for all of your work at Public Health. We know it's been a busy month, so we are happy to celebrate with you today. And I know that we were all just so amazed by the life story of all of these centenarians. And I ask you that you join me in celebrating them. Unmute yourselves, please, and we'll sing together to our centenarians who are listening at home. Okay. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday, dear centenarians. Happy birthday to you.
Thank you. Yes. Thank you, everyone. Be safe and happy Senior Citizens Month. Take care.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Senator.
Congratulations.